morning. It is time for the best morning show going on daily. It is live. I'm your host, Ron Rigo, and I've got Kyle Miller with me today. Again, we are running it back 2 days in a row.
Yeah, doubling up on it. If you haven't
And
had
and
enough
people
yet.
should. People should. This is going to be a great show.
Yeah.
A great show. We're going to have so much coming up. Kyle, how was your evening?
It was good. It was good. I did a lot of work and got some stuff prepared for today. I post a lot of content, so a lot of what I do is just getting all of that stuff ready or producing more and all of that. So yeah, mostly working, which I love, fortunately. So it was a good thing.
That's great.
So yeah,
It's
how about
always a good
yours?
thing. It's
Yeah.
another day. It's always a good thing that you have another day, right?
Yeah. Oh, every day. Yeah. You
You
wake
know,
up and you can be grateful. I woke up again today. That's a good sign.
it
It's a
is
good
a
way to
good sign.
start. Yeah.
When you don't wake up the next day, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not a good sign.
absolutely.
So we're gonna
Absolutely.
jump right into it, but we have all kinds of stuff today coming up. You're gonna enjoy this one. Um, but we're gonna jump right into it. All right. Warm hugs of
Mm.
allowness.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah.
sure that you're allowed,
Yeah. Yeah.
please.
I mean, we want to make sure all of it is allowed for sure. No uncomfortable hugs. Those
No
are
uncomfortable
not.
hugs.
Yeah. Yeah. So really, when I thought about this, the all of the emotional stuff that I talk about, um, the healing work, all of those things that we do, most of these things are a game of allowing ourselves to. We can't force ourselves into healing. We can't force ourselves into doing the work. None of these things. We can't, as I said yesterday, we can't use the stick and beat ourselves into whatever it is that we want to do. And
Yeah.
so allowing is how all of that happens. And the way that I describe, especially with emotions, the way that I describe allowing the emotions is really like a warm hug from a friend.
Right.
And when your friend gives you a hug, you have to allow them to hug you, and they have to allow you to hug them, because otherwise, I mean, we've all had those awkward hugs where you lean in to hug somebody and they're kind of holding back,
Yeah.
and and so they don't really want this happening here. And and summer of bugs. Oh yes, all of the stuff. So um so anyway, I think about the emotions in that way, because when we have the emotions come up, whatever emotion it is, anger, sadness,
Yeah.
grief, any of those things, the way that we get through those is by allowing them to be there, and
Yeah.
and not, I mean, when you're in the middle of a hug, it's not like, hey, oh, is this okay? Is this, is everything all right? I mean, maybe we do that a little, but you don't interrupt the embrace of the hug, or the hug's over, really. and
Yeah.
and
And you're gonna
so
know when to let it go too.
yeah, and I really love the long uncomfortable hugs when they're like, is he gonna let go? Those those, because I'm like,
I've been in a few of those.
yeah, yeah. And
Probably on both sides too.
oh,
I
I'm
think we
sure.
all have.
I'm sure. Yeah, yeah. One of my friends, it's always a game for us, and so she's always going, I wonder if he's gonna let go first. I'm like, not a chance. Just good friend, but the best hugs ever, best hugs ever. So shout out to Mackenzie, because definitely the best hugs, absolutely. But I think, thinking about the emotions, when we have those emotions come up, allowing them to just be there and to just settle into the hug with whatever it
Yeah.
is that we're feeling, because that's a lot of people talk about how, well, I'm feeling the emotion and it feels awful, and so what we do is not hug it, not sit with it. We have the emotion come up, we feel it, oh, that feels awful, we push it away, just like,
Yeah.
you're okay, that was enough, that was enough. and and then it comes back around again, and yes, we have felt some of that emotion, but we haven't allowed it to just be there. And
Yeah.
I think that's a huge difference, and it's super subtle, because when you're in the heat of that, it's like, well, I allowed it to come up. But when there's that anxious, I can't have this, I gotta, it's pushing that away, which is a very different feeling than allowing it to sit there, even though it feels awful. I mean, pretty much always it just feels awful. And even with the joy, the happiness, all of those things, those are uncomfortable emotions for a lot of us too. When we have that joy come up, and it's like, okay, I feel that. I think I'm going to cry now, and just lots of happiness, but that feels uncomfortable also. And it's another
And
one of those, I've felt enough. I'm going to cry. I don't want to cry,
the
so I'm going to push.
fact that a hug is probably the number one way of making things feel better when you
Mhm.
think about it. I mean, when you grow up as a child
Yeah.
and you get scared of something in the
Mhm.
night
Yep.
and you
Yep.
and the child is crying
Yep.
and mom wakes up and goes to the room, what's
Yep.
the first thing that happens?
Yep.
It's
Want a hug.
okay.
Yep.
Everything's all right. I'm here. And you hug the child
Yeah.
and everything is better in that moment.
Yep. Absolutely.
And
And
it's
it
like
is.
that when you're scared. It's like that when you're sad. It's like that
Mhm.
even when you're happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a comforting thing. And, you know, it, look, I'll be the first one to tell people that I don't want people to touch me really. I don't have like a phobia about it or
Mhm.
anything.
Yeah.
I just don't want it.
Yeah.
But You know if you have a family member that passes away and stuff, what
Mhm.
do you think is gonna make you feel better?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a hug from somebody that you care about.
Yeah. Yep.
That's just what you do.
Yeah. Yeah. You probably need some more hugs, Ron. I mean, you know,
Probably, you know?
I think most
And
of
I
us.
don't mean the diapers either.
Yeah.
I don't need those yet. Not yet anyway.
Not yet. So I think what makes this really weird, and I'll admit, I'll say it out loud. I mean, it's weird for us to give ourselves that support,
Yeah,
because and in a lot of ways, when we are unable to give ourselves that support and sit in that with ourselves, give ourselves a hug. When
yeah,
we're unable to do that, it's much harder for us to receive that from
mhm,
anyone else. I mean, we have to give it to ourselves first. And so I think, for most of the emotions, everything else going on in our lives, it is essential for us to learn how to do that with ourselves, for ourselves, because
yeah.
that really makes the
I
biggest
mean,
difference.
it goes back to when you're a baby and they wrap you in the blanket. What do you
Oh
think
yeah.
that is? That is a hug.
Yeah.
And it's to comfort the baby, right? And we're no different now as adults
Yeah.
as we are when we were a baby. We're not much different.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, you
Except we
need
treat
that.
ourselves. We treat ourselves different.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm too manly. I'm too manly for that. I can't sit in my
exactly.
emotions, and
Yeah.
yeah, I can't give myself. I don't need a hug. I don't need
All right.
any.
So let me ask you
Yeah.
this: when was
hmm
the last time you got a hug?
Um. Hmm. I don't think I got one yesterday. Hmm. Yeah, I think it probably had to have been the day before, hmm, maybe Monday. I don't know. It's been a few days. I'm deficient. Yeah.
I remember my last one. It was on Sunday. I was
Mm,
doing a board game event, and I saw somebody that I haven't seen.
mm,
I want to say 3 years.
mm,
You know, when you see somebody every
hmm.
week, and then all of a sudden you don't see them for 3 years.
Yeah.
So, it's memorable.
Yeah.
And this is the point of that. It's like you you feel different emotions, and in
Yeah.
that case it was like, wow, I missed you.
Yes.
It's like it's been a
Yep.
long time,
Yep.
and a lot is said in a hug that is, you know for however long, it doesn't
Hmm.
matter.
Yeah.
But a lot is said without having to say anything.
Yeah. 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 Which
But
which and I
it
think,
should be done more often, to be honest with
yeah.
you.
Oh, for sure. For sure. We're all deficient, I think most of us,
Yeah.
in really good hugs. And I think for guys, it's a lot easier for us to get hugs, kind of, to get hugs from someone else, for us to then give ourselves that same support. That becomes much harder,
Yeah.
because it's weird and society thinks it's weird and all of that, and
Yeah, and it
I'm
makes no
weird for
sense.
talking. Yeah, I'm weird for talking about it.
Because
You
I
know.
know through, just normal day things, it's like, I don't know. I mean, you have your friends and you might not hang out all the time, but,
Yeah.
you know, say if you get together like once a month and you go out, it's like there's that guy hug,
Yeah.
and oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
That's,
I
hey
like to
man,
make.
what's up? And you
Yeah.
hug, and that's nice. And it's sad that society doesn't really want you to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. And I
And
and
it's
I
not right.
I want to encourage you to make them weird. Make them weird. Long
Oh
hugs,
yeah,
big
you
hugs.
just you
I
just
mean,
you just go in for the hug,
let
and you just
let
hug them until they say
yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like,
Like, are they gonna say anything? Who's who's gonna pull away first? Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the first steps, for everyone today, take the time, give yourself a hug. I know it's weird. I don't care. It is the most magical thing that you can do. Just do it for yourself. It is, yeah, it's much needed. So,
yeah, and I don't know. It just, it's comforting.
mhm,
It's comforting.
yeah,
And you don't have to say anything. It's just, you just know. You know
yeah,
what I mean? It's like,
yep,
you I mean, you can say a lot through a hug
mhm,
without having to say something and be all mushy or whatever,
yeah,
too sappy.
yeah,
However you look at it, you
yeah,
know, that hug stands for something. And it's just showing the other person that you actually care about them.
yeah, yeah. Which is what, that's why I bring this up with us doing this for ourselves, because it's much less weird to get a hug from somebody else than it is to do that for ourselves. and
Yeah.
and it is the most beneficial. And okay, even if you don't give yourself a physical hug, sitting there and just knowing that you're okay, because that's you make up with someone. I mean,
Mm,
there's an issue or whatever. You make up, and it's like, are we good? Oh, we're good, come here. And you give them a hug, they give you a hug, and that's that reconciliation. and
yeah.
and it's a huge thing for us to do with ourselves. Oh, I just felt awful there, all of the things. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to know that everything's okay.
Yeah.
Everything is okay in this moment. I'm breathing. I have something to drink. I'm maybe watching us online here.
That's right.
I mean, everything is okay in this moment, and allow yourself to acknowledge that, and just allow yourself to be there with that feeling that everything is okay, even if you have all the awful emotions coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. Certainly a great thing. If you're in a position where you can hug somebody every day, do it.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
um, for whatever reason, especially like if you have, say, like elderly parents.
hmm, yeah,
I mean, come on.
yeah,
Go say hi to mom, give her a hug. That's it.
yep.
That and let
And
me tell you
hopefully
what
they
that means
reciprocate.
to them. What that will mean to your
Yeah,
mom, boatloads, right?
yeah, yeah,
Just to do it, just because.
yep,
That's the advice I can give anybody. You
yeah.
know, your children. I mean, because it's a crazy world out there. You know, look, how weird would it be for your 16-year-old child comes home from school one day and then you just say, "Come here, Johnny," and then you hug him. You know, he might feel really weird about it, but you know
Yeah.
what? I'm telling you, it won't be wanted.
I have some friends, and they're kids, and I get hugs from them, and and it's, I mean, just the highlight, and that they want to hug, and it just makes my day, means the world to me.
Yeah,
That because that's how I want to show up. I want to show up and know that and have everyone know that I love them,
yeah.
and that's, so yeah, but especially do it for yourself. Do it
There
for
you go.
yourself. Yeah,
There you go. That's uh, that's a great way to start out a show.
yeah,
Great way to
yeah.
start out a show. It is season 2, episode 129, Peaceful, Easy Feeling. And that has
Hmm.
something to do with today's show. It kind of fits that segment we just had.
Yep.
It makes you feel peaceful,
Yeah.
you know? So it will have something to do with another segment as well, as we will be talking about trauma.
Hmm.
We're going to be talking bugs. So bugs and hugs today.
Bugs and hugs. Yeah. And we're not going to sing the Eagles to you this morning. We're not singing.
Well,
Well,
I
I don't know,
may,
maybe Ron.
I may.
Oh, Ron might.
You can,
Okay.
you can, you can
Yeah.
sing the songs. You just can't
Okay.
play their song.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So we might sing to you. You
So
never
we
know.
might,
You never know.
we might.
You got to stick
Top five
around.
today. Top five is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
So look, you are watching us on all kinds of social media, right? If you are watching right now, that means you must be on one of these four socials: Kick, YouTube, and Rumble at Rhode Island Broadcasting. So if you're on YouTube, click that little bell so you always know when we go live. Which I did not get the notice. Now that I think about it, I
Mm,
didn't get the notice. We better be on.
mm. Yeah.
So, also in Rumble is pretty new for us. So we've only been on it for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and it's going great. To be honest with you, it's going great. And of course, you can watch us on Twitch at RI underscore broadcasting. So get on there, subscribe. That helps us out a lot. And you can also donate bits. You can just donate a couple of bits, the pennies. So you can put your 2 cents in. That allows us to put our 2 cents in. And of course, throw those comments out there because you can be part of the show. And there's a ton of people right now watching the show. Also, after the show is over live,
Mhm.
You can then find us on Odyssey, that little space guy down there,
Mm-hmm.
and U42 at Rhode Island Broadcasting. And if you want to listen to us while you're working or at school, but I never expect you to do that at school.
Education is good.
Yeah,
Morning show education, you know.
right. You could be
Yeah.
jogging somewhere and you
Yeah.
can listen to us at Spotify, Red Circle, and Tune In. And Red Circle, you can even throw out donations.
Mm.
So if you like the show and you want to support, you can do that. You can also follow us on the new Facebook page, which I forgot to capitalize.
Mm. Yeah. They'll be
On the new
offended.
Facebook page, Going On Daily Morning Show. So get on there, support us, and just try to share the show as much as you can. And get this, Kyle, I revamped the entire website that I hated before.
Mm.
So it's just getting started, and you can visit the show at Rhode Island Broadcasting.net, and you can donate there to support the show. We will have the most recent episode on there, and as time goes on, we'll have more and more things available on that, including a store.
Ooh. With
So you can
merch?
see all the cast members, and eventually those cast member photos will be links to potentially their shows.
Mm.
So we're gonna make it so that way it's rather enjoyable to go there on Rhode Island Broadcasting.net.
It's
So
always fun. Always fun.
yeah, and then there's all the that's not the right one. Then there's
Oh.
always the socials like MeWe, TikTok, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, Space Hey, Parlor, Gab. We're on all of it. We're on all of it. We have a presence there. But Patreon at Rhode Island Broadcasting, you can get these fine mugs, which eventually they'll be on, the website too.
Website. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So get a nice mug and support the show. Support the show.
And soon,
Um,
soon coming on Noster too, which is
yes,
super.
that is
Yeah.
almost ready to go.
Yeah.
Probably have the videos up there maybe today.
Ooh.
Have
Yep.
might have today's show on there.
We're
At
coming for you,
Noster.
Noster.
Yeah, yep. And of course, I forgot about Twitter/X at
Yeah.
Broadcasting RI. Of course, you can go on there as well. So we have all kinds of ways to see the show, follow the show, um, be part of the show, be part of it.
Yeah.
That's all
Come
I can
make a
tell you.
comment. Tell us
Yeah,
what you think.
comments. Like for instance, let us know the last time you
Ooh.
hugged somebody.
Yep. When was the last hug?
That was it. That's good.
Yeah.
So after hugs, we have bugs. It
Bugs.
is that time of the year, summertime. It's summer of bugs. Now, I don't know about you, but I really don't like bugs.
Mm.
Bugs freak me out.
Mm.
All kinds of bugs. I don't like any bugs.
I used
Except
to be. I
except a
used to be
ladybug.
bothered.
I like a
Oh.
ladybug.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I have one flying around my house for the past few days. I'm not
Just a
squashing
visitor.
it. It's
Just
not happening.
yeah. Just a visitor. Yeah.
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 So I let
Yeah.
the ladybug fly around. I don't care. I don't know how it got in here, but it did. They find ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you're outside doing a barbecue or whatever it is, your family's out in the yard, whether you're swimming or
Mhm.
whatever the activity may be, sitting by the fire, if you have a fireplace or a fire pit or whatever,
Mhm.
you always get bombarded, whether it's mosquitoes, ants, wasps,
Mm-hmm.
flies, fruit flies, especially. This is,
Horse flies. Oof.
oh,
Oof.
horse flies. So they were the
Oh,
worst, man.
yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Especially when you're swimming in the pool and they're just flying around
Oof.
because these bugs like still water, like flies, fruit flies, and and mosquitoes. They fester in all these standing water. So I figured I would, give a little few clues on how to get rid of them or limit
Ooh.
them, right?
Mm.
Because you always want to. So obviously, you don't want a lot of standing water in places. So if you have like a bucket that's sitting out, you're gonna have mosquitoes and flies all around that thing. So get rid of those. Even if it's a toy bucket,
Mhm.
you have your kids and their pail is out there, and near their sandbox, and it's just filled with water from the rain. You got to get that. You got to get it out of there, because you're just going to have problems. So they are attached. They love strong odors, and you might think strong odors, okay, so garbage laying around or whatever it means, your trash barrel. But no, it's not just that. It's scented candles.
Mm.
Like you have that vanilla candle that's sitting there burning at night. You know that that's a strong scent, and bugs love it.
Mm. No
Perfume,
scented candles. Okay.
perfume. They love perfumes. It's a strong odor. You're attracting them. And that's why it's like I always you're sitting out by the fire, and you have a girl that's out there and they're like, "Oh my god, these mosquitoes won't stop biting me." Right?
She
Well,
smells good
are you wearing
apparently to
perfume?
them. Yeah.
Perfume or body lotions, they are attracted to that.
Mm.
So again, you're talking sunscreen is a body lotion.
Mhm.
They love sunscreen.
Mm.
So, and of course, they love the air that humans breathe. Carbon dioxide is actually an attractant for
Huh.
bugs.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yep. Just so some of the things, Christy, thank you for watching yesterday for a hug. However, it was a side hug, not the same as a full frontal heart to heart.
Yeah.
At least you got a hug.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, side hug, I mean, we'll take it. It's a
You
substitute.
take what you can get, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
not bad.
I'll do a side hug. Those are for the people that are, ooh, I don't know. I don't know if I want to
Yeah,
hug. I like to
yeah.
hug those people. I mean, that's probably a negative thing. I like to give those, oh, come here, give me a hug. And they're, oh, I'm like, you
All
obviously need
right.
a hug because you won't let me hug you.
So great, Christy got one yesterday. That is awesome. Like I said, better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
Super
here are
awesome.
the ways that you can deter bugs. You know, so first of all, if you have like a patio or a porch or whatever it may be, uh, make sure you clean it. Obviously, now it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, but it is a big deal. So sweep up your crumbs, clean the
Mm,
spills,
hmm.
and any kind of sticky substance that is
Ooh,
caused
yeah.
by food.
Mm,
Those are going to bring all kinds of ants.
hmm.
They could be the smallest little crumb. And if you like how it was at my mom's house, she had like a back deck, and
Mm.
it was, by the boards, and so there was slots in between.
Oh, of course.
So
Yep.
if you sweep the crumbs through the cracks, now they're just going to be formed underneath the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, and then maybe you get mice in there.
Then, yeah, right? So
For
you
bigger
got to be
bugs.
really careful about that. You know, so take precautions. Make sure you, like, if somebody spills Kool-Aid, that Kool-Aid is dried up now, but it's going to be an
Mm,
attractant, because you'll have bees that land on it because they smell that sweetness, right?
mm-hmm.
All kinds of flies and stuff. So you got to just clean it. Refresh your lights. I
Mm,
mean, think about this: the white bulbs, they're
mm,
very bright. They attract, mosquitoes,
mm-hmm.
flies, all kinds of bugs. I'm getting itchy just thinking about bugs right now.
Mm-hmm.
So switch it to a yellow bulb
Mm.
or a sodium vapor light.
Huh.
I don't know what a
I know those.
sodium vapor light is,
Yeah.
but that's what they say.
So it makes me wonder if the difference between like the LEDs, the white LEDs, and then using incandescents, which hopefully we're getting those back. But if you're using an incandescent, then I think it is more of a yellow type of light, which
Yeah.
makes me wonder if it makes a difference whether or not that attracts the
Yeah,
bugs
it
more or
certainly
not.
will attract less of those bugs.
Hmm. I
Like the
still like the
moths,
light.
stuff like
Yeah,
that, and yeah.
yeah.
Here, this is a great one. Plant herbs.
Mm.
So if you plant garlic and rosemary,
Hmm.
they repel biting insects like
Oh,
mosquitoes.
oh.
So they repel those. You can also plant a small chive garden or a lemongrass garden.
Hmm.
Those also repel mosquitoes and stuff like that.
Mm.
Interesting.
It's
See, you don't
interesting.
have to go with these chemicals.
Yeah, yeah. Or you
Um,
get some bats.
yeah, yeah, the garlic will take care of that too, right? You won't have the count stopping by.
Yeah,
One,
yeah.
two, three mosquitoes.
Uh,
Burn citronella torches.
mm,
That drives away flies and mosquitoes, as does citrus candles.
mm. So
Citrus
citrus
candles.
scent. Yeah.
So citrus candles, I don't know if it's just like a lemon with a wick. I don't know.
Mm.
I doubt it,
Um,
but there
yeah,
has to be some wax involved.
yeah.
But they say citrus is a deterrent for bugs.
Mm,
So, all right, if that doesn't fit your fancy, spray essential oils. If you mix water with lavender or eucalyptus, it's like a pest barrier.
ooh.
Water with lavender or eucalyptus. Yeah,
Mm,
you can try both. See which one works better.
mm.
So, so you kind of like spray it, on surfaces and stuff like that, or around where you want. You know, it's like a
Essential
barrier.
oils are good for cleaning too.
Yeah. See.
Yeah,
See.
yeah.
You can also grow pest deterrent flowers.
Mm,
Certain flowers, marigolds, will drive away mosquitoes and biting and stinging insects. Now, I don't understand this as far as bees, because don't they pollinate? Like the honeybee pollinates?
I mean, I love all of the bees and I even like wasps. I didn't used to like
I don't
wasps.
like
But
wasps.
I like
Yeah, I don't
wasps.
like them.
They still do their they do their job and I have a good
Yeah, but
relationship with them. I'm like you
but
stay over
wasps.
there and you stay alive and and we can be friends from a
Right.
distance.
Right.
you stay over there. We can be friends. It's totally fine. Just
So,
don't come over
I've been attacked by wasps. Let me
here. Ooh.
tell you, it is not fun.
Mm-hmm.
That was a brutal day for me.
Yeah,
And
I'll
you
bet.
know, uh, I'm semi allergic to it. So,
Mm,
not death defying, allergic, but I had I had reactions to it.
mm,
And that was a rough day. That was a rough day. And it's like you don't even know they're there until it's too late.
mm. Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because I was working in somebody's yard. At the time, I was doing some landscaping, and I'm just doing my thing, and all of a sudden, I see, all right, there's a wasp. Let me step back and assess this, to make sure that I'm not like standing on it or anything.
Hmm. Yeah.
And before I knew it, it was too late. I was getting swarmed,
Mm,
and that was a rough day. It was a rough day.
mm.
So I'm not a fan of wasps. Not
Yeah.
a fan. I
I can see
think
that.
bees are very much needed in this world,
They are. Yeah.
but they need to stay away from me. Stay away. So yeah, so I guess marigolds are, mosquitoes biting and stinging insects stay away from marigolds. So I'm not sure if marigolds are pollinated by bees or not. I got to figure that out.
Yeah.
I got to figure.
Yeah. We got to know the answers for sure.
Yeah.
But it's
So
another reason to put your garden in, your flower garden and all of that. I mean, I love that.
yeah,
That gives you that much more reason to have some plants, garden stuff.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the last thing is hydrogen peroxide with water. You spray all the surfaces and the perimeter, and it is a barrier for bugs.
Huh.
Hydrogen peroxide. Who knew?
It's great for
So
everything.
these are all tips.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, they're safe, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Nothing on that list is really, going to hurt anything.
Yeah.
So you can do that. You don't have to spray all those chemicals everywhere,
Hmm. Way better.
and I
Way
mean,
better.
and they say, this all started because I saw an article on coffee grounds,
Mm.
because people do that with coffee grounds and say it deters it, but there's no evidence to back that up.
Oh.
And then I started looking into these things. These have hard evidence.
Mm.
So, so
I
I
mean,
would
coffee is
attempt one
important,
of
but
these things.
apparently you can't use the grounds. So, I mean, you can use the grounds. It just doesn't necessarily make
Yeah,
any
you put
difference.
it in your garden. You put
Yeah.
those grounds around the plants in your garden, and
Yeah.
it's a good fertilizer. So,
Always throw my coffee grounds out in the yard or out in the garden or
mm,
wherever.
it's what
I can't
everybody should do.
imagine throwing them away. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There's the summer of bugs. I'm all creeped out now by it.
Yeah. Yeah, probably bugs everybody else too.
Mmm. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good. All right. So look, we're gonna move on, because we know this is gonna be a deep one. Trauma dumping.
Ooh, yes. Yes. With the garbage cans. Yes, trauma dumping.
Yes,
Um
they represent trauma.
yeah. Yeah, lots of garbage in all of the trauma. And I think one of the biggest things that I wanted to talk about with this is there. I think there's a very big difference, even though it's subtle, with trauma dumping and with a healthy conversation.
Mm,
And so even if you are talking about trauma, there is a way to talk about it in a healthy way. Now you also have to have someone else that can talk with you about the trauma in a healthy way and not just turn into a session where we're, you know, bitching about all of the
right.
all of the things. So and I think, to some extent it's healthy. I mean, we got to get all that stuff out. If there's garbage we have inside, we need, journal it out, talk to somebody else, talk to ChatGPT.
Has to be somebody
ChatGPT.
willing to listen too.
Yeah, yeah, and
Don't
and
just
that's
pile on.
well, and I think, a person that's willing to listen to it, but also it's better. I'm not going to say it's always a terrible thing, because I don't think it is, but I think it's always better if you can find someone that is willing to have a constructive conversation about all of it, rather than adding to the fire, because it is kind of, I mean, we're using the
Right.
trash cans here, and you can start a fire in those,
Yeah,
with
you
with
can.
all of the stuff, talking about the trauma and everything else going on. And I don't think that that's always bad, but there's better ways. We'll say there's better, good, better, best, and maybe not recommended necessarily. And I think a better way is to find somebody that you can have a constructive conversation about it, which is, in a lot of ways, it takes the emotion out of it, which we talked about yesterday. Taking the emotional charge out of those emotions, and
Yeah.
so if you're talking with somebody that wants to add fuel to the fire, then it's going to increase all of the
Yeah.
emotional charge
Right.
in that, which is the downside. Now, the upside is you're still getting it out, so that's probably good to some extent.
The
But
point of talking about it is
yeah.
to rid yourself of that stress and
Mhm.
that the easing of the problem,
Yeah, and a
not to
lot of
create more.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But the reason that we want to get it out, for most of us, whether or not we're aware of it or not, the reason we want to get it out is we want to make some kind of sense of it. That's what our mind is trying to do. Our mind is here to keep us safe and help us survive. And it's continuously in fear that we're going to leave the cave and we're going to get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger. And so so it's
Yeah.
like, no, oh my gosh, we can't do this. So our mind is always trying to help us. And the reason, all of the thoughts over and over and over and over and over again, you know, we want to get those out so that we can make sense of them. Now, that it doesn't always make sense why it is that we feel that way, if we're not aware that, okay, what my mind is trying to do right now is simply make sense of whatever it is that's going on in my mind. And so the best thing you can do is to get that, basically get that out with someone else. Chat GPT, I think, it's not a substitute for a coach or a therapist or anything, but I think it is
Mhm.
really great for you being able to get all of your thoughts out. Now, you don't want to necessarily always take everything that it has to say, and it's not gold always. It's a machine. You're talking to a machine, but it is helpful for you to be able to just spew everything out, dump all the trauma on Chat GPT, or hopefully a good friend, and and then make some kind of sense of it, because that's really what your mind is trying to do when you want to get it out of your head and you want to talk about it. And I think it's important to recognize, the difference, which is sort of subtle, but it is distinct, between talking about a problem for solutions and simply just dumping all of that out. Now, we've all been guilty of, just wanting to get it all out, and really add, I want somebody to add some more fuel to the fire, which I think a lot of people are guilty of. And no shame, no judgment. I've been there. I've done the same thing. It's
Yeah, I
okay.
think everybody has.
Yeah, yeah. But doing it in a more constructive way, it helps to be able to let go of all of those things, which is ultimately what most of us, I think, want. Some people, I think, want to hold on to it
Yeah,
so they
because
have
if you
something to talk about.
escalate the feeling through the conversation, it really defeats the purpose of having the conversation.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, why would
And
you want to feel worse after the conversation? I mean, really? But that's what can happen if you're talking to the wrong person.
yeah. Yeah. Or even with ourselves sometimes, because we all
Right.
do that too, you know. And so I think it's just as always with everything. And I don't know if I've said this before, but awareness is the most important thing, because we can't change anything, we can't work through anything that we're not aware of. And so the awareness is the most important part. So if you recognize, if you become aware that what I'm doing is trying to just dump all of this off and get somebody to fuel the fire with me,
Yeah.
then that awareness is huge. That's and not to beat yourself up with, but to go, oh, okay. What I wanted here was for me to be able to get a little extra angry, and perhaps that's helpful. Maybe you needed a little fuel on the fire so that you could let that anger out as well. But always, if you can, when you can, get back to that constructive, okay, how do I make sense of what it is that I'm talking about here? Because
Mhm.
that's how, when we can make sense of it, then it makes it really easy to let go of then.
I mean, just the way the brain processes
Mhm.
things,
Yeah.
it's very, it's a fine line on
Mhm.
how you're going to feel one way or the other.
Yeah.
And, again, the brain is like a muscle, and, you have to train that muscle.
Yeah.
And if you're training it the wrong way, then you're never going to process things the right way. That actually is helping.
Mhm.
You could be training it in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
So it's a fine line,
Yeah. Yeah,
and not
absolutely.
everybody has that answer, and that's why they have people, in the profession of therapy, in all different forms, right? Not
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
in the office therapy
Yeah.
session. It doesn't have to be that form.
Yeah.
It could be a yoga teacher, right? It could be something like that. I mean, some people choose the other way and go to a bartender, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, there are different forms of that kind of therapy, and depending on where you seek it, is going to
Mhm.
be different results.
Yeah. Yeah,
And that
absolutely.
could be just your friend that lives down the street, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, we're
So,
missing a lot of that. We need more of that. Even if you're going to go to the bar and go sit with your friend and have a drink and talk about the issues, I mean, that's, that's something. She's late, but she's
Becky's
here.
in the house.
Becky's in the house. Got
So,
Christy commenting on here, and hopefully still watching, and Becky's watching us, and who
oh,
who else is out there? All right, we're talking about the trauma dumping and
yeah.
and
And
the
this
benefits and the
is
downsides.
big, though. I mean, everybody does it,
Yeah.
and like I said, it's that fine line, right?
Mhm.
Which way what are you trying to accomplish in the conversation?
Yeah. Well, and that's usually we're not in the state of mind when we Tim Hor- so
Tim
I
Hortons. It's
I
a
should
donut shop, and it's like Dunkin' Donuts or something.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I get that. I mean,
Which
yeah.
they are better. I like their donuts better than Dunkin' Donuts, though.
Mm. I'm a
At
donut
least when I
snob.
used to.
I'm a donut snob. If they don't make real actual fresh, make
Yeah,
their own
yeah.
dough and
Dunkin' Donuts
everything.
used to do that. Fred used to
Yeah.
do it. They
Yeah.
don't do that anymore.
Yeah. The local donut shops. Those are
Yeah.
the ones. I
Yep.
can't do the other ones anymore. I'm a
No, I
snob
can't
now.
either.
I,
I
yeah.
can't either.
But yeah, I get it. I mean, sometimes you need some donut therapy.
Yeah.
That's
You
a
know,
reasonable thing.
hey, look, people can talk to their pets, right?
Oh
You
yeah,
sit there on the couch, you have your little dog, by his side, and you start talking to the dog, and that dog is going to listen. He's not going to give you answers, but he's going to listen. And I'll tell you, you probably will feel a whole lot better after you talk to your dog.
Yeah, you could talk to a fence post and you would feel better. I mean, that's one of the biggest things is we a lot of times and we can you can do it in the journal, or other ways
Yeah.
of doing it, but ultimately, get it out of your head in some way. And
Yeah.
whatever form, whether you're using Chat GPT or a friend or your dog or the fence post or a journal, or I mean, getting it
Yeah.
out is,
Or a donut.
yeah, or a donut. Yeah. Yeah. So thankful that I have this donut here. You're going to listen to me talk about all of this, and then I'm going to eat you. And it's going to be yummy. And then I will feel better at least a little bit.
Everybody has their things, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's no sense in keeping all that stuff bottled up. And that is, you keyed on one thing that I've always has always been a recommendation, and that is a journal.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, just writing things out makes you think about what's bugging you.
Hmm.
And believe it or not, just writing it out
Hmm.
is
Yep.
probably solving your problem
Yep. Yeah.
because
Journaling
you're
is,
thinking about it.
well, and I love journal. I could talk about this for forever. Maybe I should do another segment on journaling. Maybe we hold that back a little teaser, a teaser, as we would say.
There you go.
And I'll talk about journaling. Yeah, because I love journaling. It's
Yeah,
very good.
it's very good for you.
Yeah.
It's good for the soul, right? You
Yeah.
just everything that's inside of you
Hmm.
is bottled up, and
Hmm.
then you just put it on paper
Yep.
or on your computer, however you want to do it.
That was what I
And
did.
it feels better.
Yeah, I mean, this morning before I got on the show, got my coffee because I mean, you got to have coffee first. But I made coffee and then I sat down and I journaled and then I came on the show. So yeah, get those thoughts out.
Yeah,
Becky said,
absolutely.
my friends Chat GPT their issues like a counselor, and I agree. Yeah, talking about Chat GPT, it is a really really great tool, especially for anybody that doesn't doesn't have the ability or whatever in order to get a counselor, a coach, a therapist, you know, all of those things. I eat my issues. But let me tell you, I wish I starved my problems. I think
That's
that's
good.
that's the two sides. We got to come in the middle here. In the middle, that's where,
Yeah,
because we can't avoid it all, which is what we want to do, but we also can't, fuel the fire of the garbage cans here, and because then
yeah.
then what we end up with a lot of times is a dumpster
Look,
fire.
it's like what I said is a fine line, right? That
Yeah.
you have to walk that fence kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can't go overboard and you can't
Mhm.
avoid it, because when you
Yeah.
do both, it eventually will come back to haunt you at some point. And
And
if you don't take care of a problem, it's
mhm.
certainly not going to go away.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to address the issue. You have to.
Well, and I think the one thing, and we can close on this. The one thing is to do something and to learn from whatever it is that you're doing. and
Yeah.
and so, because we are all going to screw it up, we're all going to do it in the ways that we don't want to do it, and
Yep.
that's okay because we're making an attempt at figuring out how to work
Yeah.
through it. And so, if you did it in whatever way that you don't want to do it, you can try again. You can try again, and yeah, make the attempt the next time.
This is great. This is
That's
great.
awesome.
Love
That's
this.
awesome.
I love your accent, but I go to Kyle for coaching. I go to counseling, and I do know how supportive, helpful people are. In my experience, it has to be people who have emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's really true. I mean, you have
Yeah.
to be able to to first of all, you have to be able to acknowledge those emotions. If you don't acknowledge the emotions,
Yeah.
you're done. It's
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah.
So that's
Thanks for the
great.
comment.
You
Thanks,
know,
Becky.
I don't know. Just because I have the accent,
I mean,
doesn't mean I
well, it's
wouldn't
got
be
to
able
be
to
like
handle.
it's a superpower, probably.
It
You know,
is. It
I mean,
is,
I
of course.
guess I have an accent. You know, I mean, for everybody out of the area here, they're you must be from Idaho.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, it just sounds like normal. You
Oh,
know,
yeah, yeah. All right,
I don't
all
know.
right.
It's like it's not my fault where I was born.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you got a
Not my
cool
fault.
accent out of it, Peter
Thanks,
Griffin.
Becky. You have to add to the fire. Yeah. All right. We got one more thing to talk
Yes.
about, and that is, of course, Ron's top five. Oh my God, this is gonna be a good
Oh,
one. Good one. Look, look. It is a great year, 1972. Ron's five songs from 1972. Uh, do I sound like a
I
Canadian
think you're supposed
when
to say
you
A.
say certain things, Becky? Yes, you do.
You're supposed to say A
Yeah,
after
A.
that. Do I sound like a Canadian A?
Oh man.
Uh,
Oh boy.
now she's not
All
gonna
right.
want to be on shows with me.
So Kyle, are you a music fan?
I'm a music fan. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And we're
Well, I
talking
got a feeling.
it's
I
like
got a feeling
golden
you're
era.
gonna.
72? Yeah.
It's a great year. I did 1983
Hmm.
previously. That was a great year for music as well. Um, yeah,
What's your
no,
1975, so don't mess this up.
no. See, this is the thing. 1975, I said that I was taking it from the top 100 songs on Billboard. So not my fault. Not
Mm,
my fault.
yeah.
It didn't
Yeah.
have Bohemian Rhapsody on there or anything, so,
What did they know
it
back
made it
then
look bad.
anyway? Yeah. Yeah. What did they know?
All
Yeah.
right. So 1972, top 5 songs from 1972. This is a great year because it had a lot. Let me tell you. So it had like Steely Dan's Reeling in the Years,
Ooh. Yes.
you
Yeah.
know. That was a
Classic.
great song.
So
It
good.
had John Denver, Rocky Mountain High.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
Me and Julio down by the playground,
Oh. Yeah.
schoolyard rather.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Great song. Love the
Yep.
song, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it didn't make my list.
Mm.
Didn't make
Okay.
the list. It had David Bowie, Suffragette City.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
It's a great song. Witchy Woman by the Eagles. Great song. Great
Mm-hmm.
song.
Mm-hmm.
Not on my list.
Not
Sorry,
no.
Becky.
Mm.
Not on the list. It had, let me see, You're So Vain, Carly
Oh.
Simon.
Yeah.
I bet you have that song on a playlist somewhere, because you probably talk to people that might be a little vain in your coaching.
I well, I don't talk to the people who are a little vain. I talk to the people that have survived the people that are a little vain.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
So,
I don't have any desire to talk to the people that are so vain.
Summer Breeze, Seals and
Mm,
Crofts. Great song, right?
yeah. Oh, so good.
Ben by Michael Jackson.
Oh,
I'm okay with what you said thus
okay.
far.
Yeah. Yeah. Christy said,
Brandy by
Becky
Looking
Bell.
Glass. Good
That's
song.
a good one.
That's a
Good
good
one.
one.
Yeah.
Um, Even Burning Love and Always on My Mind by Elvis Presley.
Hmm.
72. Who
Hmm.
knew?
Wild.
Not on the list.
Hmm.
There was Al Green. And this is a one that shocked me because I penciled this one in right away. I Can See Clearly Now. Johnny
Oh.
Nash.
Ooh.
Great song. I love that
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
And I couldn't put it on my list. That's how
Oh.
big this list is. Walk on the Wild Side, Lou Reed.
Oh yeah.
You
Yep.
Are the Sunshine of My Life by Stevie Wonder. Papa Was a Rolling Stone by The Temptations.
Mm.
All not on my list. Didn't even make honorable mentions.
Lots of
Here are my
heartbroken
honorable
people.
mentions. These are the
Heartbroken
honorable
people, I'm
mentions.
sure.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. All
And
right.
I love this song. I love the guitar in this song, Ventura Highway by America.
Oh. Uh-huh.
Love that song.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah,
Love it.
really good one.
Crocodile Rock by
Ooh.
Elton John.
Ooh. Yeah.
And that has got some memories ingrained into that.
Yeah.
You know, that was a song that I used to dance to with this girl, and her name was Sue. Obviously, the song in the name, Susie in the
Uh-huh.
song.
Yeah.
And it just reminds me of her every time I hear that song.
Mm.
Also, Stuck in the Middle with You by Steelers Wheel.
Ooh, yeah.
Love
Yep.
that song. That's a great
Yep.
song. One hit wonder if I have a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, the two that were right there. I love Jackson Brown's Doctor My Eyes.
Oh, yep.
Such a great song. And then Deep Purple, Smoke on the Water, which
Mm.
has one of the most recognizable guitar riffs ever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Those were really close.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions. So Becky, get ready. Because here we go. Number 5, I have Superstition by Stevie Wonder.
Oh, okay.
That that song, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's a masterpiece by
Killed
Stevie
it.
Wonder.
Yeah. Killed it.
It's a masterpiece.
Killed it.
Number 4, Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Like,
Okay.
it's such a
Yeah.
good, healthy
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, look, it is true friendship, right?
Yeah.
Lean on Me. Love the words. The lyrics
Mm-hmm.
are bar none some of the best in any song.
Yep.
Number 3, I have the Eagles' Take It Easy, which to
Ah.
me, this it's very nostalgic for me
Yeah.
when I went on a job. I traveled down the East Coast on a wagon train, so I slept
Mm.
in a teepee the whole bit.
Mm.
And
Mm-hmm.
this was a song that reminds me of that time so much.
Mm.
It was a very, very big song for me.
Mm.
Has a lot of meaning. Number 2, this guy's Rocket Man.
Oh, yeah.
Rocket Man is one of his best songs, you know, top 3 of Elton John.
Yeah.
And that's saying something because he's got a lot of great music.
Yeah. Great song.
But the number 1 is the title
The
of today's episode, Peaceful,
drum roll.
Easy Feeling by the
Ooh.
Eagles. It's not even close for me because that is my favorite Eagles song. I love the lyrics. I love the music. It's a great song. A great
Mm.
song.
Mm.
Loved it. Those are my tops.
The top 5. Okay. I love it. I love it.
So I don't know. What do you like in that out of all of those in that year?
I love so many good songs. So many
Yeah.
good songs. I and I think that's probably one of the struggles I have is which is your favorite or what are your top. I don't
It
want to do
depends on
top
how you
five.
feel.
I'd cry if I had to do a top five. It's not my list, but it's decent. I mean, you got the kind of sort of approval. Christy said Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed, and then the remake by Marky Mark. And I was
Yeah.
trying to think of.
Yeah,
I
no,
know I
I
know that
remember the
one.
remake too.
Yeah,
Look, I love that Lou Reed song. I mean, that's a
yeah,
great song.
yeah.
I just couldn't put it above the others that
Hmm.
a lot of these songs mean something. They
Yeah,
all have like meaning from back then. I mean, you're
yeah,
talking 72. I
yeah.
was I was only 6 when they came out, but by the
Mhm.
time I'm in high school,
Oh,
these songs are played on the radio
yeah,
constantly still.
yeah,
Constantly.
yeah, yeah.
And they all have some meanings.
Mm.
That was
American
not
Pie.
I don't know if that was
Not.
released in 72 because it was not on the charts. And that's my
Oh.
favorite Al Green song. If that was released in 72, it would probably be number 2.
Mm.
That would be number 2. No, not The Lion Sleeps Tonight. I mean, come on. I mean, really. Really, Becky.
uh, Horse with No Name. I'm okay with that one. That's not one of my
It's a
favorites.
good song. It
It's a
is. It's
good
a good
song.
song.
Yeah,
It's not their best.
yeah, yeah,
It's not their best.
yeah. And it's
Ventura
hard.
Highway is a better crafted song.
Yeah, yeah. I like that one better
That
too.
guitar, the way
Yeah.
they pick those notes, it's
On Wiki, stuck
yeah,
in the middle of you.
that's the meaningful one.
Yeah. The Wiki list. Oh, hold your head up. Mm-hmm.
Stuck
Yeah.
in the
They're
Middle with
good.
You reminds me of Reservoir Dogs. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the song.
Yeah.
Okay, Hold Your Head Up is not a good song. That's not a good song, Becky. I'm disappointed. Disappointed. I mean, out of all the
I
songs, look, I listed 50 songs down here that are
Ooh.
all better than Argent.
Hmm. I mean, I like the song. I'm probably most of the time I'm not going to skip that song. If it comes on, I'm going to
Well,
listen to
because you
that
never
one.
hear it.
But
So, yeah, you say, oh, I haven't heard the song in a
yeah.
long time. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for that.
Oh, under the bus with
Under the
Argent.
bus.
Uh,
Oh, man. Al Green is one of my favorites. Look,
yeah,
I,
yeah.
it did not have that as a song from 72. It probably got released in 71 as a single first,
Mm,
probably because that was his biggest hit. It was his biggest
mhm,
song, and I
yeah,
loved the song.
yeah.
Album wise, it probably is on the 1972 album, but
Where's your list? Where's your list from? Becky's calling you out here. She
yeah,
nope, nope.
she can do
Hold
that.
on.
It's
Yeah,
easy.
yeah.
It's easy to call out when you're actually reading it from a website.
uh,
But when these songs were released as singles, it was 1972.
mm,
1972. I think that one was released actually in 1971
mm, yeah.
because I've mentioned that song many times. I love that song, Al Green.
So I have to wait for a 71 list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So not the charts, the release. The release date.
it's funny because everybody will always look for those other songs that aren't on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's my song? It's not on the list.
Yeah.
Where's yeah.
Yeah. I remember doing this for a year and I didn't have some of the Eagles songs on it. It's like, oh, the Eagles are the best, they gotta be number 1, number 2, it's
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
no, no. Gotta go with the quality of the song. Like, there's
And
no
it's
way
all it's
Argent would
all
ever make
subjective.
any list for
Yeah, I mean,
anybody.
it's all subjective, and we're
It
all
is.
we're all gonna have our preference, which
It
is
is.
perfect.
Because
That's
the
the best.
songs mean something
Yeah,
differently to everybody.
yeah. Which appreciates how many Eagles songs were mentioned.
Yeah, I mentioned
Yeah,
3 songs.
yeah. It's because they're good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
You know, in this case, they were some of my favorite songs. The 2
Hmm.
songs that I mentioned are my favorite 2 Eagles songs, that they've ever made. And,
Hmm.
you know, it's just how it is. Those songs
Yeah,
have meaning when I hear them.
yeah. It's
And
awesome.
musically, pretty genius musically too
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
oh boy, do we miss Glenn Fry. Definitely. So,
Yep.
he was my favorite Eagle. Kyle's clearly never watched a top 5 with Kenny. Oh, no, he has not.
I mean, I haven't watched. I've been. We did a top five yesterday movie, but I'm clueless on
Yeah.
those. So
When I do a
you
show
know,
with Kenny and I do a
yeah.
top 5, oh, totally different. The disrespect. I cannot believe what?
Uh,
All right, so that's the list. If you don't like it, I'm sorry that you don't have good taste. I'm sorry.
uh, it's fine.
So
It's
that's the show. Tomorrow Becky returns and she will be with JJ. Um, going to be a great show. Let's see what they bring to the table tomorrow. Um, I'm sure Becky is going to mention this list. I'm sure of it. You know,
Yeah, maybe she'll
so
have her own top five.
she might. They try.
Hmm.
They try. It's not easy just taking, looking at the year and trying to pick out these songs, out of thin air.
It's decision fatigue. So many
It
good
is.
songs. How do
It
I
is.
make the decision about?
And you know what the funny part is? Something like this. Okay, tomorrow it could be a totally different order because I might feel differently
Hmm.
tomorrow.
Hmm. Yeah.
And plus it didn't help when I'm playing songs from 1972 and these songs come up and it's like, oh my god, I remember this, so it moves up the board
Hmm.
because you're actually listening to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
so so that doesn't
I'm
doesn't
coming for
you know
you.
but yeah. So tomorrow 10 a.m. Becky and JJ will be here. And Kyle, let us know where they can find you.
KyleMillerCoaching.com. That is the best place to
Very
find me.
simple.
Yeah. And Kyle Miller Coaching, all of the other social media platforms. Happy to talk with anybody or, schedule a call with me. Happy to talk with anyone. So, yeah, come find all of us, support the show, follow us everywhere, follow all the platforms. Come find us.
Absolutely.
We want to hear from you.
Absolutely. And I want to thank, of course, Christy and Becky for being here and commenting.
Yeah.
And of course, successful full head G's.
Mm.
Or it could be hedges.
Hedges?
Could be
Mm.
hedges.
Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you for
Yeah.
commenting. And all of you that were watching the show live, thank you for being here. Try to comment next time. And if you're watching the show, from video on YouTube, Rumble, whatever, comment, throw some comments down. We can
Yeah.
mention you during the show next time. Thank you, everybody, and have a great
Thanks,
day.
Becky. Thanks, guys.